So I guess we can start today's session. So can I have maybe by show of hands, just to confirm that we all have GitHub accounts before we start? So we only have one hand raised. We have 4. Just raise your hand so that I can confirm from the participants. And you can see how to help out those who don't have accounts. So you have like a few of you with your hands raised up. The rest of us, do we have GitHub accounts? Does anyone have problems getting an account? Those who haven't raised their hands. Brendan, Jade, I'm sorry if I'll be butchering your name with the pronunciation, but yeah. So Ronel, Damien, Obi, Kwazi, Jade, Brendan, Christelle, do you have GitHub accounts?
Yes, I do have.
Yes, yes, I have. I couldn't find the raise hand thing.
Okay, so if you on Zoom, if you at the bottom, you should see an icon written reactions. So
yes,
if you
I found
click on reactions, yeah, you should get it. So okay, we still have a few more. Quasi, Zid, is it Zideo? Sorry, and then Dakura, Damien, and Ronella. Do you guys have GitHub accounts?
Hi. So I only downloaded GitHub. So I don't know if I should say I have an account because I didn't fill any of my details in it, but I have downloaded it like I followed the instruction there.
Well, that is Git. So we have Git and we have GitHub. So you need to set up a GitHub account. So you just go online and you search GitHub, then sign up, fill in your details, and then you get an account.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly do that right now.
Okay, 2 minutes to do that. Anyone else with troubles getting an account? Valon?
Hi, sorry, I just lost connection there for a moment.
Okay, but you have an account.
Yes, now I have account, everything is set up. I think I just missed the part where you asked everybody to put up a hand if they're fine.
Okay, okay. So who else? Zide and Kwazi?
Yes, I do have.
Okay.
I just couldn't raise my hand. I can't see the.
Okay, so you have a reactions icon. You just check where you have mute, stop video, participants, chat, whatever. Should see an icon written reactions. So if you click on that, you should get the raising hand icon. Okay, I think so we can start. Going to share my screen. So let me know if you can see my terminal. Can you all see my terminal?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to assume that we all have terminals, so let's confirm that as well. Do you have access to a terminal? Whether you're using Windows, Linux, or Mac. Do you have access to a terminal? Maybe by show of hands, I think that's easier. Let's just confirm that we
Sorry,
have. Oh, okay. You all have. Sorry.
So how to open the terminal in Windows?
Oh, so in Windows you need Git Bash. Do you have Git Bash?
I don't have it installed in my, because I'm using the computer now. Yeah, I think that this one I don't have it. Yeah.
So
Okay, no, I will just follow.
there is a link I shared on downloads. So if you click on that, you should be able to download Git Bash as well as, so Git will be within Git Bash. Let me just share that again.
Yeah, share it again if you can.
Okay, there we go. So you should get Git Bash there. If you download the Windows. So the rest of us, we have access to Git Bash. If you have a Windows machine, if you have a Linux, you should have Git, and Mac OS as well. Anyone else with troubles? Okay, so can we start? Can we proceed?
But I don't understand. I can't down. Okay, it's fine. Okay. See.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I get it
Crystal?
already. Yeah, I downloaded it already.
Is it downloading? Has it
Yeah.
downloaded?
Yeah. Then I'll
Okay.
run it right now.
Okay, let me know whether you're able to access Git Bash. So we can put our hands down so that it's easier for us to get communication. The next question.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sorry, yes, I have it already. It's fine.
Okay, you have it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so today we are covering Git and GitHub. So there is a difference between the two. So Git is a version control system. I'm not sure if we are familiar with version control. Are we familiar with version control? Anyone? You can just unmute and speak up as I charge my, set up my charger. Oh, so you're familiar with version control? Dr. Ralapali?
No,
Okay, so let me just share.
no, I'm
this
not
then.
familiar. Yeah, please.
So I'm going to use these materials that I'm sharing here. I'm not going to use the software Carpentries one because it's a bit complex. So this one is easier to follow. It's for library carpentry. That's what you're going to use today. So we'll start with what Git and GitHub is. Let me just share my screen again. So how you can maximize content from this lesson, you have to do it practically. So ensure you are able to, in as much as I'm running it on my end, you also do it on your end so that you're able to grasp what is going on. So version control is basically a name that is used for a software that helps you record changes you make to a file. So you see the way you have a file, say you've written something and then you let's say the first draft. So it's a manuscript or a paper. So you say, maybe let me say something like what? Reference .txt. It's a file called reference.txt. The first time you write it, but then you go back to make changes to it. And then when you make the changes, you save it as reference.txt.1. So the first version. And then once you make changes to it again, you say instead of reference.txt.1, it becomes reference.txt.2. So the second version, then so on and so forth. So if you make the process, you make changes, you keep having several copies of the same file. So with version control, it simplifies that. So when you make a change to your file or to a folder, it automatically picks that changes by using Git. So that is what version control enables you to do. So it's important because it helps with keeping tabs with a rigorous log of changes, like I've said, so that you don't have to keep renaming your files from reference 1, reference 2, reference 3, reference 4. So it helps with versioning, it helps with collaboration. So collaboration, this is why you have multiple people working on the same document. So we have person 1 making changes, person 2 making changes, and person 3 making changes as well. So you can imagine a situation where you have person 1 making changes, and then we have person 2 doing some other changes to the same file, but then without incorporating the changes that person 1 made. So you see the real conflict there, because we will have a document, but it might be missing changes that person 1 had. It might be having only changes that person 2 and person 4 have incorporated. So in order to solve that problem, because with Git, for you to be able to make changes, you have to actually get the changes that have been made by someone else before you add your own changes. I don't know whether that makes sense. So you cannot make changes to a document and without having it up to date with someone else's changes. So it assists with collaboration and also rolling back, so you can quickly undo changes with Git. Also with understanding, because with Git you are able to comment your code. So you are able to know that, okay, this code, this is what it was doing, or this is what I was trying to do in this particular section. So you are able to understand, even if it's not you, maybe your colleague, they're able to understand what you are actually doing at that specific stage. Also with backup, so you can imagine if you've been working on your personal machine and then everything just goes off. So maybe the hard disk crashes or the machine crashes and all that stuff, then you don't have backup of what you have been doing. So GitHub assists with that because all the changes you've made are stored in a remote repository. So in as much as you can lose your local changes that you've made to your personal machine, you're able to have backup in a remote repository. So those are some of the benefits of version control. And here we have different version control software, but here we are going to use Git as our version control software. So yeah, I won't go through this. You can read this at your own time. But what you can pick from this lesson is that Git is a version control software. And then GitHub is a website that is used to host Git repositories. Okay, so Git is the version control software. But then we have GitHub, which is a website. So I'd assume that you are all familiar with websites. So GitHub is a website that is used to host Git repositories remotely, because we've talked about having backup on the remote. So that's why I asked you to set up a GitHub account, and we are going to explore that. So yeah, so before we start on the hands-on, do we have anyone with a question on what Git and GitHub is? So I'd assume silence means we have understood. Yeah. So maybe we could have just one person unmuting and then just saying that we're good up to that point, then we proceed. Anyone can just unmute. It's not specific to a particular person. Are we okay up to that point?
Yes. See, we understood the difference between the Git and GitHub. My name is Dr. Shrikant. I'm from Iswatini. See, we understood it, and also what I understood is GitHub is mainly used to store some code or some repositories, or we can take some data and all that, which you can even use in your projects, or you can use it for sometimes for research purpose, or if you have any data which you feel that you can upload it and make it open data. I feel that we can do it in the GitHub, right? I think many people around the world, they contribute to the GitHub continuously. They keep on uploading their projects as well as data into the GitHub. That's what I understand.
Yeah, sure. You could easily upload your data, but GitHub has a limit for the size that you can upload. So you can't upload huge files as well to GitHub. So things like data, you could just provide a link. So you have your data maybe stored in Dropbox or OneDrive or whatever, but within GitHub, you just say, you can access data from this link. Yes. So anyone from anywhere, any place in the world can just easily click on that link and get your data. Okay, so we are going to start by setting up Git on our machines. So if you have a new machine, then it doesn't have anything configured with Git. So how we are going to do this is by opening your terminals. So if you're using a Windows machine, a Linux, Mac OS, whatever you're using. So just open your terminal and then run git config list. So config is configuration. So you are trying to configure Git with our name and email addresses so that it's able to recognize that I am the one that is using this machine, and so on and so forth, so that you are able to push your changes to the remote repository. So can we have all of us run git config list on their machine? So I'll just stop sharing so that we can use someone's screen. So if someone is comfortable, you can just share your screen so that we can use yours for demonstration purposes. So anyone who's willing to share their screen?
I feel that it's better you can just demonstrate once so that we can follow it.
Oh, you can follow. Okay.
Yes,
no
yes,
problem.
yeah.
Okay. Let me do that. So if you just run git config, so mine would bring something different because I have GitHub set up already, but yours should, you should get something similar to this. Are you able to see my terminal?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So this is for output for a Windows machine. So for Mac OS, it would be different, but something similar for Linux as well. Do we all have that output? By show of hands. Okay, so if you're getting a similar output to what I'm getting, then it means you haven't set up Git. So we are going to set Git on our machines. And how we are going to do this is by running this command here. The command is on the lesson plan I've shared with you. So if you open the lesson plan and then click on getting started with Git. So I think this is what I share. What are you seeing? Could you confirm what you're seeing so that I'm not showing my terminal and explaining with my browser?
You're showing the schedule.
Okay, let me share my whole screen then. Sorry. Okay, so this is the lesson plan I shared with you, Library Carpentry. So you just go and click on, we are on session 2, getting started with Git. So click on that and then move to this place where they have you're being told type these 2 commands in your shell, replacing your name and the email address with your own. So here you'd write your name. What is your username? So the username you giving here is the username you used when you're setting up your GitHub account. I believe all of you were asked, well, what you'd want your username to be. So that is what you write here. And then of course the email would be the email you used to register your GitHub account as well. So you just run that command and then you replace your name with your name. So I'd run that and then here I'd say, my GitHub account name is Nanjala Ruth. And then I click on enter. Then I'd go back and copy my email and then paste that here. Then replace that with my email address. So I'd type Ruth Nanjala, enter. So now if you run git config list, you should get something similar to what I'm portraying here. So in addition to what you are getting at the beginning, you should have username and your email address reflecting on your terminal. So I'd give you a minute to do that, and then we can proceed once you have that set up. Christelle, where did I lose you?
Yeah, I didn't understand the part that you say replacing your name and your username. I didn't get you.
So what I said here, we are trying to set up Git on our machines, okay? So you have Git Bash, right? So if you run git config list at the beginning, you should get something, some similar output to what I have here. Do you have that?
Got it. Yeah, I got it. Yes, I have it.
Yeah. So this means that you haven't set up your GitHub account yet, because you cannot see your username and your user email address. So how you set up that is by running this command here. So this command is provided in the lesson plan that I've shared with you. You just go and copy it, then replace your name here with your name. So for instance, if your GitHub name is Kimene, then you replace here with Kimene. And then here you write your email address. So what is your email address? The one you use to register your GitHub account. That is what you write here. And then you press enter. Have you done that? Christelle?
Okay, I'm going to do it right now.
Okay, okay. So a minute to do that. And anyone else? So you could have your hand raised up if you've done that. And then if you have a challenge with doing what we are showing here, let me know so that I can repeat. So all of you who have their hands raised up, do you have you been able to do that? I'd assume so.
Yes.
Okay. So anyone who's facing a challenge so that we can help you? So have your hand raised up if you've been able to set up Git on your computer. Then we can help the rest solve that challenge. Evelyn? Oh, okay, let me resend that link. So that's the link. So we are on lesson session 2, setting up Git. So you just click on that and move down to get the command. Okay, so let's keep our hands raised up. If you've been able to do that to set up Git, Kwazi, Dakura, Zide, Kingsley, Ronella, yes. Mugamad, is it Mugamad? Sorry. Damien, Zide. Okay, so we're waiting for Christelle. Christelle, have you been able to run that? Christelle?
Yeah, I'm struggling here.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Not easy to share my screen because I'm using two computers. So, okay, you can go ahead. I will just.
Well, if you lose you at this stage, then we will lose you entirely. So we don't want to lose anyone. So what's the error you're getting?
Yeah, I think that I shouldn't delay you. Maybe you can just carry on. Maybe I'll just follow maybe with the note that you have provided online. Yeah.
Ruth, sorry, hi, Renee here. I'm just listening in. I think, Ruth, what I can suggest here is with Christelle, I know him very well. We're often in touch. So what I think is, let's not keep the others behind. What we can do is, I'm busy recording this, so Christelle can always come back and look at the recorded version. And also a lot of these people here I'm also in touch with. They can also help him afterwards if he gets stuck with something. And even if I need to, if he observes this course, I can always put him in the future on another one, So so I think that's fine if you proceed and then Christelle watches and observes, and then I think that's perfectly well if you continue. I promise you I will look after Christelle nicely, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks guys.
Okay, so once you have, so if you run Git config list, you should be able to see your username and email address. So I'd presume that we all have that. So we've set up Git with our names and email addresses. So the next thing is to tell Git that we want you to use this text editor as the default one, so that it doesn't just pick anything. So you could use Nano. There is a variety of text editors that you can use. You can use Vim, you can use Nano, you can use Notepad, whatever you are comfortable working with. So for my case, I'd choose Nano. So if you, I hope you can all see this command. So you're going to copy this command the way it is, and then paste it on our terminal. So I'm clearing my screen right now. So you don't need to edit anything at this point. So you just copy it as it is and then run enter. So right now, if you run git config list, you should be able to see the core editor to be whatever you choose. So if you chose Nano, if you chose Notepad, if you chose Vim, you should be able to see it in your list. So I hope we are okay up to that point. And then the last thing is that we need to set up the default branch. So this is where we want all our data, or whatever our scripts or whatever we are doing on Git. This is where we want it all stored. So we're going to set up our default branch to main, but I understand that some of you might be it might not change, so it would stick to master. But yeah, let's try to run that command and then list the configuration and see whether we have it incorporated. So I'm going to paste that as well and run it. Then run git config list. So the default branch is called main.
Ruth, there's
Yes.
a comment on the chat by Ronel. Yeah.
Okay. So Ronel, Nano is a text editor. So you need to set up a text editor with Git so that in case you need to write something on a text editor, it picks up that specific text editor, not any other text editor. So you'd notice that if you don't set it up, it automatically picks up Vim as a text editor, and you might be unfamiliar with Vim. So are we all familiar with what text editors are? It's just, it's an editor. So where you can write your text and edit it and delete and whatever, it's just an editor where you have your texts within. So we have different text editors. We have Nano, we have Notepad, we have like what I'm using here. We have, you can have Visual Studio Code, Vim. So for this session, I chose to work with Nano, and that is why I ran this command. So I'm just telling Git that set up my computer to use Nano as the text editor. So that is what happened here. Is that clear, Ronela? Ronela? Okay, perfect. So can we all have our hands put down so that it's easier for me to track when whether we are all following? So I'll just ask you to raise them up, and then once we've all raised them up, we can put them down so that it's easier to know who's lost. So let me confirm. So have we all managed to set up our name, email address, text editor, and the default branch? LaTeX, LaTeX would be a bit complex for Git. I haven't heard of anyone who's used LaTeX. Mike, have you heard of anyone who's used LaTeX for Git?
No.
Brendan, you've used LaTeX?
Just,
No. I was replying to whether you. Yeah.
Okay. Someone was speaking. Was that Sekori?
just a bit. I want to see that command that you use to set up the username. It was git config user.
Okay. So you just run. Let me clear my screen again. Yes, the name you made in GitHub should be the same one you write here. So don't just write any name. It has to be the one that you used as your username. So this is the command you run to set up your name. So git config global user.name, and then you replace this with your GitHub name. Then you have the email, then you have the text editor, and then you have the default branch.
All right.
What is the importance of setting up the default text editor and branch? Okay, so so let's start with the text editor. So I think I've mentioned this. So if you don't set up a default text editor, Git would automatically force you to use Vim. And if you're not familiar with Vim, it might be challenging to try and figure out, how do I save? How do I exit? How do I delete something from this file? It might be challenging. So you setting up a default editor is you telling Git that kindly use this text editor and no other text editor, so that you are able to use a text editor that is familiar, that you're familiar with. Okay, so that is with the text editor. And then with the branch, by default, Git uses master as the default branch. But now with all these politics of master being linked to racism ideology, people are now moving to setting up the default branch to be called main instead of master. So that's why you'd realize that if you haven't set up a default branch as main, when you're pushing things to GitHub, you always push to the master. So setting up main is by just changing that. So instead of using master as the name of the branch, so master is just a name of the branch, which is default for Git. So instead of using master as the name, I want to use main. So that is the importance. I hope your question is answered, Evelyn. Okay, perfect. So have we been able to set up, so by show of hands, let's see if we've been able to set up our name, email address, text editor, and default branch. By show of hands, let's see. Anyone who's facing a challenge, you can just unmute and speak up so that we don't leave anyone behind. Okay, so can someone unmute and let me know whether I can proceed?
I think everything's fine.
You can proceed.
Yeah,
Okay.
you may proceed. Yes, you may proceed, please. Yes.
Okay. So we have set up now a Git repository. Sorry, not a Git repository. We have set up Git on our computers. So now we are moving towards setting up or creating a repository. So what we call a repository is just a data structure that is used to track changes to a set of project files that you have made. So you remember we said Git is used for version control. So it helps you track the changes you have made so that instead of having version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, you can have just one file which elaborates all the changes that you've made from the beginning up to where you are. So a repository is just that data structure that helps you set up your file in that way. So with Git, all these project files are stored in a hidden directory that is called .git. So one thing you have to know about Linux is that all hidden files within Linux are stored with a dot at the beginning. So not just for Git alone, but you might find other files like the bashrc profile and all those stuff. They have been stored within your Unix environment, but you can't just access them by just doing ls -l. You can just, let me see. So you can just say ls -l and then access them because the output would be blank. So for you to access hidden files within a Unix environment, you have to run still the ls command, but with the -a tag attached to it. So all the hidden directories or files will have a dot at the beginning. And for you to be able to see them, you have to run the ls command with the -a tag attached to it. Okay, so I just mentioned that so that you don't try to find a folder called Git because you won't find it, it's hidden. So let's create it first and then you will see how you can access the folder. So we are going to create a new directory. From yesterday's class, I hope you are familiar with creating directories within Unix environments. So we're going to create a directory and we're going to call it Hello World. So I'm just copying this command here. And then, so let me know because switching from my browser to my terminal might be slow on your end. So let me know if you get lost somewhere so that I don't just proceed if you're lost. So yeah, we are going to create a directory or a folder that is called Hello World using the mkdir command. I'm going to run that. So if I do ls now, I should see my folder, hello world. And then I'm going to move into that folder. So you explored cd yesterday. So moving into that folder using the cd command. So I'm within the folder hello world. So as you can see, all these parts. So of course, OneDrive, desktop, Carpentries, hello world folder. This is what I'm interested in. So this is where we are going to create our Git repository. So you can as well create a folder called hello world on your end, and then move into that folder. So 10 seconds to do that. And then we create the Git repository. Okay, so I hope we have our folders ready. So we're going to create a Git repository in that folder. So one thing before we create a Git repository, one thing you need to understand is that Git is used together with a number of verbs. So verbs such as add, commit, push, pull, and things like that. So we will explore some of them in this lesson, but some of them you will encounter them while using Git in future. So how you run Git commands on the terminal is by running git the command, so git, and then we have the verb. The verb could be add, commit, remove, push, pull, something of the sort. And then options would be now additional information. So when you're committing, what are the additional options like -m and all that stuff we will see in a few. So yeah, basically that is how you run Git on the command line. So you have to have Git as the command, and then you have to have a verb. So for example, for this case, we want to create an empty Git repository. And then once we have that repository, we want to use it to track the changes we have made to our project. So to do this, we are going to use the Git Init command. So init is a short form for initialize. So if you just run Git Init on your terminal right now, you should get the message that your folder hello world has been initialized as an empty Git repository. Okay. So right now, if we run ls, you remember I mentioned that if you want to see hidden files, you have to use the -a tag. So if I run -ls -a, you see that we have our hidden Git folder. Okay, so this means that hello world is now a Git repository. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. So now we have hello world as a Git repository. Okay, so we want to make changes to our folder hello world. So we can create a new file, then we add text to it, then we save it and all that stuff. So we're going to do that in a bit. So let's say you have a folder hello world, then you want to create a file that maybe just something that you are interested in. So maybe I'd say I'm using Nano as my text editor. So I'd say, oh, let me create the file first using the touch command. So touch is used to create an empty file. So I'd say touch maybe greetings.txt. Okay, so I've created a file called greetings.txt. And then I'm going to open that file using Nano, which is my text editor. And then, so it will open it. then I can say, I can write any a sentence or something. So I'd say probably, hello, Brendan. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
How is your day so far? Okay, and then I'm going to save that file. So we've created a new file, okay? We have added content into that file. So we want Git to track those changes that have been made to that file, or to our folder, Hello World, okay? So for you to be able to know the changes you have made to a file, you run the Git Status command. So Git our command, but status would give you an update of the changes you have made so far, whether there are things that you need to commit, whether there are things that you need to add.
Sorry, there in the nano text editor, how did you save?
Oh, okay, sorry. So I'm going to open it again. So how you save in Nano, Control X.
S.
X for Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Control on your machine, if you're using Windows machine, if it's Mac, it should be Command X. So so you can just check at the bottom here. There are commands written here. So if you want to get some help, you do Control G. So what is this symbol called? The inverted V. I don't know how it's called. So that means control, okay, or command if you're using Mac. So there is the help, there is the exit, read file, and all those options. So if you just want to close your file, you press Control X, then it will ask you, do you want to save or do you want to just exit? So you'll click on Y for yes if you want to save, and then it will save and exit. So for instance, if I add something like, how do you rate the lesson so far? And then I close. So you see it asks me, do you want to save? Then I'll press Y and then press enter. Then it saves. So I have my file called greetings.txt. Within it, I have content, but it's still not being tracked by Git. So you just run Git status on your terminal. So you'd see it tells you that we are working on the branch main, okay? No commits have been made yet. We have untracked files, okay? And it even shows you the untracked file, which is greetings.txt. And then it tells you there is nothing added to commit, but we have untracked files present.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just checking to see whether we have questions in the chat box before we can continue. Okay, so does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Anyone who has a question up to that point?
Oh, it's fine. We are following you.
Okay, so we can proceed. Okay, can you confirm that you can see my terminal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your terminal.
Okay, so I'm going to run Git status again so that you see the differences. So we created a file, but we haven't tracked the changes. So we want to track the changes. How do we do this? So the command we're going to use here that would enable us to track changes is the Git Add Command. You see that it even tells you, you have untracked files, but for you to track them, you have to use Git Add Command. So you'll just write Git Add, okay? And then you write the name of the file that you have added, the name, or if you had deleted a file, you'd say git remove and then the name of the file. But now since we added a new file called greetings.txt, we say we are trying to tell Git kindly add this file to your repository. Okay, so we're going to say git add and then greetings.txt. Then we run enter. Okay, so we again run git status to check the status of our repository. So you see now at the beginning, our file was colored red. So because we had untracked files, but as you can see now, it has changed to green. So, but we are still not there because you see, we are being told that, okay, Git is now tracking our files, all right? But these files have not been committed yet to the staging area. So they are still unstaged. So how do we stage our files? So you created a new file. Git is now tracking it using the Git Add Command. Now we want to commit it to the staging area. So how you do that is by running the Git Commit command. So you just say Git Commit. And now for Git Commit, you don't just run it as it is. You have to give it a commit message. So telling it, okay, these are the changes that I have made. So I added a file, or I edited this file to include this and this, or I deleted this bit of the file. So for you to add a commit message, you have to have an option attached to Git Commit. So if you just do Git Commit and then you do help, it's taking time to run. Why? Okay. -m. So -m is the commit message. Okay, so that is why I'm using it here. Are you able to see my browser?
Yeah.
So that I'm not on my terminal. Are you seeing my browser?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. So -m option that is tagged to the Git commit command enables you to give a commit message so that it's easier for someone to understand what changes you actually made or what new file you actually created. So I'm going back to my terminal. Let me know whether you can see my terminal.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we are going to commit the changes we've made. So I'm just going to say git commit -m and then say, what did I do? What are the changes I made? I'd say I added a new file. Okay, so that is the commit message, and then I'll run enter. So you see it tells you that one file has changed with 4 insertions. You remember we had 4 lines that we inserted. So now if we run git status to check the status of our Git repository, it will tell us that there is nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. So this means that all the local changes that we've made have now been saved on our Git repository. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so can we do that in a minute and then we'll proceed? Can we all do that on our terminals? Then you can have your hand still raised up if you have been able to do that. Yeah, you can just speak up if you have a question.
You said that do you change from master to main?
Okay, so you run git config defaults. Where is that command? Yeah, so you run this command, git config global init.default branch main.
Oh, because I didn't run that one. I see that it is committed on master.
Master, it's okay. So you can still work with master, no problem. But
Okay.
next time you can change it to me.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. Do we have another question? Okay, let's keep our hands raised up. Let's see. Dr. Alapali?
Yeah, yes.
Are you good up to that point?
Yes. I'm able to do it. Not a problem.
Okay. Ronela? Ronela, if you're speaking, I can't hear your voice.
Hi, on the Git Add, what did you say we do?
So you run, so you say Git Add, and then
Git
the name
add.
of the file that you've added.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I got it. Okay, thank you.
Zide, you have a question? Zide, if you're speaking, we can't hear your voice.
No, I don't have a question so far. I don't have
Okay,
a
you're
question.
good.
Yeah, yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Miss Ruth, can
Yes.
you just share us the text document which you are showing to us? You have any document prepared for this, like the steps and all those things you have? Any
Yeah,
Word
yeah,
document or something?
Yeah, I think I've shared that. Let me just share it
Oh, you
again.
have already shared it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even if you
Let me
can
just
share
share.
that, that is.
So
yeah, this
there is
document, I
this.
think this will. Yes, yeah.
Okay, message chat. So that's the document. So if you open it,
Okay.
you just go down and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you click on
Okay.
lesson 2.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
Ruth, would you
Yes.
please also share with us the PDF version?
PDF version, there is no PDF version. It's just this online version.
Okay.
Okay, no
HTML.
problem. Then we follow to the link then.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically
Okay.
from this lesson,
Yeah.
let's look at this. Let's look at this bit here. So you can think of Git as taking snapshots of changes that have occurred over the life of a project. So Git add will specify what will go in that snapshot. So let's assume you are here, okay? You have these 3 files, black, right? You've made changes, the green one, okay? So you want to add that change to the staging area. So for you to do that, you use the Git Add command. So Git Add appends or adds the new change, which is in color green, to the staging area, this one in between. So that's why when you check Git status after doing Git Add, you realize that it tells you that you have files that need to be committed, because now you have them in the staging area, but then they have not been pushed into that Git repository, this one here. So that is why you need the Git Commit command, so that it's able to now push the changes you've made from the staging area to local repository, okay, within the Git directory. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me know whether you've been able to create a file, made changes, used Git add and Git commit. Then we can proceed.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very important to understand that, because for changes to be committed to a repository, they have to go through 2 steps. So they have to first be added to the staging area. That's why you're using Git Add, and then you have to commit now to the repository. That's why you're using Git Commit. So if you don't do that, then the changes you have made won't be stored in the Git repository.
Right.
Yes. So 2 minutes to catch up with that. Oh, let's take a break and then we will proceed with the now how to set up our remote repository and how to link it up to our local repository. So far, we are just working with the local repository, what is present on our machines. So we need to know how do we now set up our remote repository on GitHub, and then how do we link it up to local, so that when we make changes to the local, they are able to be, they reflect in the remote repository. So we take do we take a 5 minutes break or 10 minutes break? What do you prefer? Anyone can speak up?
Yeah, 10 minutes is fine, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, 10:15, now it is 10:05. Maybe 10:15 we will.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's catch up at 10:15.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, can we confirm by show of hands that we are back? Do we have people back? Dakura, Zide, Jade, Kwazi. Can you all confirm that we are back so that you can proceed by show of hands? Okay, we're still missing a few people. Dr. Alapali, Crystal, Brandon. Oh, Brandon, I've seen your message on the chat. Okay, can we continue? Could someone confirm that we can proceed? Are we ready to proceed? Just unmute and let me know whether we can proceed.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, we can continue.
Okay. So we've now covered getting started with Git. We're moving to how do you share your work? So on the remote repository. So if you click on that lesson, you should access this material. So basically, how can you use Git and GitHub to share your work? How do you link your Git repository, the local one that you've worked with? How do you now link it up to the GitHub website? Sorry, the GitHub host. And then how do you move changes between the local and the remote? And how can you see the differences that you've made to your current files and your most recent commits? Then the specific objectives would be how do I create a remote repository? So these are some of the things that you should be able to do at the end of this session. Then how do you link a local Git repository to the remote? How do you move changes between the local and remote? And how do you examine the differences between an edited file and the file's most recently committed version? So we are all going to move to our browsers. And so open a tab on your browser and then open GitHub. So open your GitHub account. For example, mine is here. And then proceed on, click on repositories that you have. Okay, you don't have any repositories. So when you open your GitHub account, there is this profile icon. Can you all see my cursor? I hope you can see my cursor. So there is this profile icon. If you click on it, it will show you your profile, your repositories, your code spaces, your organizations, your projects, your stars, your gists, all that stuff. So you're going to click on your repositories. Okay, so click on your repositories. And then of course, if you have never created a project on GitHub, it should be blank. So, yeah, and then you're going to create,
it is blank.
Yes, it should be blank. and then
Yeah.
click on new.
Mhm.
Do you see an icon labeled new?
Mm. Yeah, new. We can see new. Yes.
Yes. Okay, click on that icon, new.
Yeah.
And then you would get something similar to this.
Yes, we are getting
Yes, yes.
something similar.
Yes. And then here we are going to, so you need to give your repository a name, okay? So you can give it any name, for
Okay.
instance, but it has to make sense. So don't just give it any name from anywhere. So for example, we could
Yeah,
say National Institute for Theoretical Sciences. Is that your acronym? I hope I haven't
Yeah.
written it wrongly. Is that the acronym? NITheCS.
No, there is something that is missing. NITHECS.
ECS, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll say Carpentries training. So something you have to note here is that your name should not have blank spaces. So you either separate
okay.
them using hyphens or you separate them using underscore. So you know how to write an underscore? An underscore should be something like that. So you either separate them using a hyphen or an underscore. And then, yeah. So you could give a description. I want to do that right now.
Oh,
and then it has to be,
how are you?
yeah, and then have it as public. So don't choose private for now. So have it as public so that anyone can access it. And then do not initialize anything. So don't click on any button here. Okay. So don't do anything here. So leave it as it is, and then click on create repository.
Create repository.
Yes. So you should get something similar to this. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Got it.
Awesome. Could everyone else confirm that they can see that? They have that on their end?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we can proceed. So you remember
There's a comment in the chat.
Oh, there's a comment. Oh, you missed that setup. Okay. Can you share your screen so that I don't create another repository? Or what do I do? Do I create another one? Okay, so let's just create another one. So, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Muhammad?
Yeah, you are right. I think it's Muhammad. Yeah.
You can call me that. It's fine. No problem.
Okay, so open your GitHub account. Okay.
Okay.
And then on your profile icon, can you see where my cursor is?
Yes. Yes, I'm back to the repository. I'm just there. I didn't see the previous step where you went to a new
so
window.
did you click you had started to create the repository?
Yeah, so I did it, then I made the name, and then I kept it public, and then
and then don't tick anything here.
Oh, I mustn't. Okay.
Yes, and then click on create repository.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so do that maybe in 10 seconds, and anyone else who's probably not up to speed. Okay, so can we all confirm that we've created that repository and we can see we have something similar to what I have here?
Yeah, yes, Ruth, I have created, I have done, and I got the very similar thing, whatever you got it.
Okay, so we can all remember that we created a folder called Hello World, and then we initialized it as a Git repository. Then within that Git repository, we created a new file called greetings.txt, and then we used Git to track the changes. Okay, so we have all our changes on the local repository, right? So right now we have created a remote repository. We have given it this name, whatever name you've given. So what you want to do right now, we want to link up this remote repository to the local repository that we created, the hello world. Okay, so how we are going to do that? So we've already done this, all this. We're going to work with push an existing repository from the command line because we already created a repository on the command line. Okay, so you're not going to do this. So this only happens if you had not created a repository at all on the local machine. So our case is option number 2. So what you're going to do, you're going to copy this first command here, git remote add origin, as it is displayed on your end. So don't copy, don't write whatever is on my end, because this is just specifically for my case. So you see it's even tagged to my name. So copy what you can see on your end, but it has to be git remote add origin, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sorry, Ruth. Ruth,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
sorry, can you come back again? Because I created my repository on another machine. So what I'm going to do now, yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have that on your local machine, then just work with the first step. So copy this first, copy the second one, copy the third, fourth, fifth, up to this end. If you don't have a local repository, work with
come
it.
again, copy the first.
So you can you see the way these commands are written?
Yes, I see.
You can as well just copy all of them, but I want you to see what is happening. So I want you to copy them a command at a time. So copy the first command, echo, paste it on your local or on your terminal. Then copy git init, paste it, git add, git commit, git branch, all that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I will just I will maybe prefer to follow you because my Git is run on the other machine that I'm using here, because I couldn't run into the machine that I'm following the course with you, right? Okay, I will just follow you like I did for the previous course. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's work with those who have a local repository on the command line first, and then we can come back to how do you create a new repository from the command line, and then maybe you can pick it up. Is that okay? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I think that's fine.
That's fine.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are listening.
So that those who didn't have a local repository would know how to set it up. Or yeah, so let's start with that. So for us who had a local repository, copy this git remote command as it is. Ensure that where you're copying it, it's where you have your local repository. So you remember the hello world folder that we had. So this is where you paste it. And then you run. You click on enter. Okay. And then since we had already set up our branch, our default branch to main, you don't need to run the second command here. So what you're going to run is the third bit. So git push. So I will paste that here and then run. Oh, it's going to fail. It's going to fail. Okay, we need to create SSH keys first. Okay, so we skipped a step here. So Git changed its permission issues. So we need to create a secure, what is it called? An SSH key first before we are actually allowed to push changes from the local to the remote. So just taking you back. So let's pause here at this point. We will come back to this. Let's go back and create an SSH key first. So as of now, what we've done is just to create a remote repository, all right? So we'll pick it up how to connect the local and the remote later on. So we first need to set up an SSH key first, so that you are allowed to push changes to the remote repository. So it's called a secure shell protocol. So how you do this is I'm not sure. Do we have anyone who has SSH keys already? Okay, so how let's confirm whether we have the SSH keys. So you see this command here, ls-al tilde means home directory. So it is usually located on your home directory. So you're going to copy that command and then run it in your home, run it on your terminal, and then check whether you have the SSH keys. So just run that. So it will tell you that if you have not set up SSH, your output should look like something of the sort. So cannot access this, no such file or directory. So let me know how many so far. Oh, Ronella, you're stuck on creating an account. Did you get that, Ronella?
Yes, I'm stuck on creating an account. It keeps saying verify your account. So I decided to just stop and listen to your lesson. And then after that, once I'm done creating an account and it's successful, I will follow up the steps you're doing and try to work on it later. But I'm listening on the lesson right now.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
So is it like creating a GitHub account that is causing the problem, or creating?
Yes, it's the GitHub account. I have placed my username and also my email and also an account. And then they asked, would you like to receive a product update? And I said yes. And then it just keeps saying verify your account. So when I click on verifying my account, nothing goes on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think there should be there should be something like you have to. There is some images. You get some images to verify, like a.
Yes, I've been working on the images. They gave me different images just to verify, and then once I clicked on those, and when I'm done, it keeps going back to say verify your account.
Then it means that maybe you didn't get all the images right.
They were saying it's correct. They were just asking me about a guitar and a beggar, and I was clicking on them.
Okay. Did you check your email? You got any confirmation email?
Yes, I've been constantly checking my email, but I see nothing there. So I decided I should just put a pause so that I don't miss the lesson on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
No problem.
Thanks.
See, I feel that if the images are correct, if you click on the images properly, it should set up an account. Yeah, maybe that you should sort it out at a later stage. Maybe. Yeah.
Yes, I will do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right, cool.
Sorry, also I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, after we've run the push from the GitHub, mine I didn't receive the error that you received. Maybe I can share my screen so that
you
can
can
see.
share your screen. Then it means you had SSH keys, or did you use HTTPs? Let me see.
Can you allow me to share my screen?
I think you should be able to share. Just try to share.
Okay, yeah. I'll share here and yeah. Okay. I think you can see the terminal.
Yeah.
After I run the Git push origin main, I received there was a new pop-up application that popped up and it said that I must sign in, and then I did that on my browser. Yeah, after putting my password, and then I received this, and then this is what happened.
Yeah, I know why. So if you go back to your code, you see you copied the HTTPs via HTTPs. Git remote. Can you see the Git remote?
Remote,
command?
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, you used so you use the HTTPs link. So if you use the HTTPs link, then it will ask you for authentication in your browser, which is what you did, and it worked.
Yes.
But a shorter form would be because not all you might get issues with HTTPs with authentication at some point. So to just avoid all those problems of waiting for you to authenticate and all that stuff, you could easily set up a SSH key. And then when you get the link, you add it via SSH and not via HTTPs. Okay. Yeah. So let's just set up SSH as we are going to do within this session. Ensure you have it, and then you can always push via HTTPs. If it fails, then you just do SSH, but it's easier with SSH. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd notice that within this repository here, okay, so you either work with, let me just go back to this. Let me open it here. Yeah, so you see you can set up in desktop or via HTTPs or via SSH. So if you click on HTTPs, it will give you a HTTPs link. If you click on SSH, it gives you a SSH link. So we got the error. If you use the SSH, you will get that error because it means that you have not set up SSH keys. So that is where you're getting that error. So what we are going to do right now, we're going to set up our SSH keys. And then once we have them, we can easily push via SSH. Okay. So to do that, I think, where is that? So you can read through this at your own time on SSH background and what it is and set up. But basically what you need to know is that you have two keys when you generate an SSH key. One of the keys is private, the other one is public. And then, so what you share or what you paste on GitHub is the public one. So once you've done that, then pushing to GitHub would be very easy. So you don't need to authenticate, you don't need to do anything. So I want you to run this command and then let me know what you are getting on your end. Are you getting something similar to this? Cannot access, no such file or directory?
Yes, that's what I get.
Okay.
That's what I get.
Awesome. So this means that you have not set up SSH. But if you had set up SSH, then you should get something similar to what I have here. Okay. If you have set up SSH. So, because let's assume that all of us have not set up SSH, so we want to set it up now. So how you're going to do that, you're going to run this command here. So you just copy it as it is, okay? And then where you have your name at domain.name, you write your email address, okay? So you'll copy that command, paste it on your, I'm going to clear my screen. So you'll copy that command, paste it on your terminal, and then it will ask you, enter file in which you want to save the key. I didn't write my name. Okay, okay, let's see. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, so you don't need to change this bit here. But what happens if you change it? Let's see what happens. What happens? Okay, so you can do it either way. Let's see. Okay. So ls minus al SSH. Don't worry, you're going to do this in a bit. So, okay, you can either put your email or don't put it. It doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, sorry, Ruth, I'm a bit lost. Can you come back a bit?
Yes, I'm going to repeat that. So what you do, copy this command. Are you able, you are able to access the materials, right? So just find where the command is, copy it as it is, and then paste it on your terminal.
Yes.
So you can either change this to your email address or leave it as it is. There is no impact.
Yes.
So paste it. Okay. Then it will ask you enter a file in which you want to save the key. So do not enter anything. Don't type anything so that what the keys would be automatically pushed to the home directory. So if you enter a file, then it means it would be saved in your current directory and it might be difficult to trace it. Okay. So don't type any name, just press enter. Okay. So once you press enter, it should tell you that, can you give me a passphrase? So a passphrase would be like a password. Well, you could use anything that is easy to remember on your end. So you type your passphrase, it will ask you for the passphrase again, type it, and then you get your key.
Let me try.
Yeah, can you do that in a minute and then let me know whether you're stuck?
Yeah, it's worked. Yeah, I got it. I got it. It's fine. It's worked.
Okay, anyone else who so let's give a minute to anyone else who's still stuck and then we continue at 11:44. Oh, it's 11:44 on my end, so on your end it should be 10:44.
Yeah, it works. I get that square thing. What?
Awesome. So let's see. Do we have anyone who has challenges? If not, we can proceed to now pushing it to GitHub. Okay. So you remember, if you didn't type any name here, just run the command ls minus -al ~/.ssh to confirm that you can see something similar to this. So ID_ed whatever, or ID_RSA, something similar to that. Can you see that on your end?
Yeah, that's first try.
Yeah, so that is one person. The rest of you, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, I can see that.
Yes,
Perfect.
I can see.
Perfect. So what you are going to do, you are going to copy the public. So you remember I mentioned that we have a private key and a public key. Okay. So this one that is as it is doesn't have an extension to it. This is the private key. And then the public key would be the one that has a .pub. So this is the public one. So what you're going to do, you're going to copy that public key and then paste it on our GitHub account. Okay. So how we're going to do that is, you remember the same command you ran. So instead of ls, you're going to, are you able to see my terminal? Or do
Yes,
I
we can
push
see
it
it.
up? Do I push it up? Or you can see it clearly?
Oh yeah, you can push it up a bit, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me push it up. So instead of ls, you're going to replace that with less. You remember the use of less yesterday? And then instead of just .ssh, we are interested in the public key. So the one that has a .pub. So what I'm trying to do is to just open the contents of that file so that we can copy it. Okay. So I've changed ls with less, and then I've added the name of the file at the end. So if you do that, you could either use less or cut, whatever is easier for you.
Yeah,
So
I think it should be better to use what is in the note here, cut.
Okay, yeah, could use cut. And then you should get something of the sort. So you copy it as it is. The weight is here. Okay, and then once you've copied it, I want us to go step by step so that we don't lose anyone here. So have we all copied the public key?
Yes.
Okay. So you go back to your GitHub account, and then where your profile is, the icon, you click on settings. Okay. I hope you are following. I don't want to lose anyone here. So go to your GitHub accounts. On your profile icon,
Yes.
click on settings. All right. And then on the left hand side, you should see something written SSH and GPG keys. Are you able to see that? Click on it. Okay. So once you click on it, you should see something like, so this should be blank because you don't have anything. So mine has a lot of keys because I've added them. So it should be blank on your end. So what you do is you click on new SSH key. So click on that, then it should open something similar to this. So this is where you paste your SSH key. Then you could give it a title. So for example, personal laptop, or NI whatever server. So I could write maybe something like a workshop, what? Let me say laptop. So something, any title that you'd want to give it. And then this is where you paste your key, and then you click on add SSH key. So it will ask you for your GitHub password, which you should input there, and then say confirm password. So it will add it. So you should be able to see it somewhere here.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can I share my screen a bit?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it? What do you see?
Terminal.
Okay. Yes. In that terminal, I don't know, because I ran that one.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to use -al with less. So just remove that.
Oh, okay. What am I supposed?
You just have, yeah, remove the -al there. So you just have less tilde. Yes. So run that. There you have your key. So copy it.
Oh, I have to copy the whole of it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So just right click and then say copy.
Okay.
Yeah. Then go to GitHub. So you can exit, just press Q.
Okay.
Q should exit.
Yeah. Yeah, Q should exit. Yes.
Yeah, go to GitHub.
Yes.
Click on your profile icon at the top. So move that bar to the top such that you're able to see your profile icon.
Let me move my bar.
This
here.
thing on the left side, yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah.
Click on your icon. Go to settings. Then on the left-hand side, SSH and GPG keys, the left hand.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, click there. Then new SSH key. Then yeah, paste it now where you have key.
Oh, here.
Yes.
Okay.
And then give it a title. So you could say laptop, personal laptop, whatever.
Okay.
So remember, no spaces between your words. So use an underscore hyphen.
Yes.
Then add SSH key. That's it. You have it.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else who's stuck? Yeah, you can stop sharing now.
All right.
Anyone else who's lost? Okay, can we confirm by show of hands that we got the SSH keys? Or a thumbs up? Show of hand over or a thumbs up that you have the SSH key. So we only have a few of us with their hands raised up. Do we have someone who's stuck? Oh, you're still on it. Okay. Give you a minute to do that. Anyone else?
So
Yes.
I think I'll need help on my side.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Yeah. I think I got stuck when you were saying that we're not supposed to use the email address, something like that.
Oh, so you haven't created the SSH key again. Okay, so go to the materials.
To materials, okay.
We are only seeing your terminal.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me share on you. Okay. Okay, so
so it should be
lesson.
Sharing your work. Sharing your work, yeah. Yeah, so copy that SSH key, Jen.
Yeah, this one.
No, this one.
This
you
one.
Can't see. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Then go to the terminal.
Yes. We are not seeing your terminal. So you need to share your whole screen so that it's able to toggle between the terminal and the browser.
Can you see the terminal right now?
Yeah. Okay. So press enter.
Enter.
Yes, enter a passphrase could be.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, enter it again. Yeah, so you have the key. So you see, this is the path. Copy this path. C users administrator.ssh. Are you seeing that line?
C user here.
Yes, copy that path from /C. Yes.
From /.
Yes, copy
okay.
it. and then
Copy.
type cut space paste that path. Enter. Yeah, so copy that SSH key from SSH to domain.name on your terminal.
Oh, here.
On your terminal.
On terminal, okay.
Yes.
SSH. Oh, here.
Yes.
And
copy it all the way to
okay.
yes.
To name.
Yes. Copy.
Yes.
Did you copy it?
Yes.
Okay, go to GitHub.
To GitHub.
Yes, add new SSH key there. Yes, paste it there.
Okay. Okay.
And then give it a title. So separate it using a hyphen, GitHub hyphen key, or yeah, add SSH key. Okay. So you have it there. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Dakura, have you been able to get the key?
Yeah, I got the key. Now I'm going to GitHub to try it.
Okay. Anyone else? Ronella, Kingsley, Zide, Evelyn. Yeah,
on my
so
side,
Evelyn, you
I've
just
been
say yes.
following.
Sorry?
On my side, I've been following the process there, so I'm good.
Okay, okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, sure. Evelyn, you just need to click on yes. Who else? Kingsley, Kwazi, Damien, Muhammad, okay. I think we lost Dr. Rapali somewhere. Is he present? Is it the, I think we lost him somewhere. Okay, can we proceed?
Yes, we can continue.
Okay. So now that you have the SSH key and it's been set up, so now try to push. So go back to your terminal and then do, let me share my screen. So can you all see my terminal?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to say git push. So right now you just, it will ask you for a passphrase. So the password that you gave it. So you just type that password and then it pushes the changes to GitHub. So can we all do that? Okay, so have we been able to push changes to GitHub?
Not yet. It's asking me to log into the browser.
You are pushing via, okay. So you did it by HTTPs. So what you do, you're going to go to copy that key, git remote command again. So go to your browser, where you have this, you remember this, whatever.
Yeah.
Outlook. So you're going to copy this command again. So copy it via SSH and not HTTPs. So click on SSH.
Okay.
And then copy this.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Yeah, sure. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd say I'm having a similar problem, asking me to go to GitHub on my browser.
Yeah, so it means that you're trying to get your remote repository via HTTPs. So HTTPs would require you to authenticate via your browser. So for you to avoid all that, you're going to redo this step. You remember this step, git remote add origin. So for you to be able to be sure that you're using SSH and not HTTPs, this should be git at GitHub. So if you're using HTTPs, then you'll see that it has HTTPs blah 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 at the end. So ensure that whatever you have as git remote add origin, it's git at GitHub and not HTTPs, so that you avoid that step of authenticating via the browser. So just do that and let me know whether you're still facing issues.
After we go to the SSH section, what do we do after that?
After?
And after you use git remote add origin,
yes.
After that?
After that, now we push. We push the changes that we've made locally, we push them to the remote. So the command that you use, sorry?
So we don't use git branch minus $M main.
Oh, yes. Don't, because you remember we had already set our default branch to main.
Okay.
At the beginning. So we don't need to, because this just tells Git that please switch on to the main branch, because you might be having several other branches other than the main branch. But since we had set it default to main and we have not switched branches, then we don't need to run that command. Does it make sense?
So it's still asking me to go to using the HTTP. So after I switch, okay, let me share.
Share your screen, yeah.
Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so I copied this in already.
Yes.
And I switched to SSH.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do with this now?
So you go to your terminal. So you say, oh, remote origin already exists. Okay.
So because I'd already like used this right at the beginning when we didn't have an SSH.
This is interesting. So do Git status. Git remote -v. Yeah, so you're using HTTPs. So we need to change that to SSH. So just a minute.
Okay.
That's why you're getting that error.
Yeah.
Because you had already set it up to HTTPs. So we need to change. Just a minute. Let me get you that link to do that.
Not a problem.
Okay, so this is it.
Should I stop sharing?
No, I'm just pasting it on the chat so that anyone else who has the same issue can run the same command. So this is the command. Where is my chat? So in place of git@github.com, you will paste that link, the one that you have copied. Are you able to see the chat?
Let me get to the chat. This one here. Git remote. Yeah.
Set URL.
Okay.
So type it, or you just copy and paste, and then you can change Git the link at the end. Yeah, change that to
just my email.
No, just delete that up to Git. Delete the whole of it up to Git.
Oh, okay.
Go to your go to your browser, then copy that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
And then paste it there. Yeah, run it. So now do git remote -v. Yeah, so now you're good. So do git push.
All right.
Yeah, run it. Should ask for your passphrase. Yes. Type yes.
Okay, yes. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yes, and then your passphrase. There you go.
All right.
So anyone else who had set the repository to HTTPs, use that command to change it to
Is
SSH.
the password the same as the token? Because
no, it's not.
Oh, okay, because mine it's behaving a bit awkward. I think let me see. Password authentication was removed.
Yeah,
I think.
That's why I'm insisting. We need to use SSH and not HTTPs. HTTPs has just a lot of issues because GitHub stopped using HTTPs.
Oh, okay. Let me read back that one because mine it wants back that.
Just use the same command that I've pasted on the chat to change your repository as well. So just type git remote set URL origin and then replace that link with the link you have on your browser, the SSH link.
Okay.
You can share your screen.
Okay, let me just share.
At what time are we supposed to end this session?
Can you see?
Yeah, maybe just confirm what time are we supposed to end so that I don't stretch your time.
I think the session today will end at 1.
1, okay.
So South African time.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be 2 p.m. my time, so that we still have like 2 hours. So do run, first of all, clear your screen so that you're able to see clearly. Okay, do git remote -v. Enter. So yeah, you also have HTTPs. So copy the link that I pasted on the chat.
Okay, let me just go to the chat.
Valon, you have your hand raised up. Do you have a question? I hope it's Valon. Sorry with the pronunciation of the names.
No, it's fine. I think I just left it up from the previous one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me just look into the chats. Oh, this one. Copy.
Paste. And then change. Copy the wrong thing. Okay, copy it again.
It copies the token. Copy.
Or you can just type, it's not, yeah. Just type git remote if it's not picking it.
It's not picking it, okay.
Just type git remote. Set -URL origin, and then go to GitHub and copy that link and paste it there. Where is your repository? The one you created on GitHub?
Okay, let me just go here. Look, repositories. I think it's this one. The NITheCS.
Yeah, copy now. So click on SSH, yes, and then copy that link. Then paste it on your terminal.
Okay, let me go to my terminal.
Paste it. So you need a space between origin and git.
Okay, let me.
Control A should take you to the beginning of your command. Control E should take you to the end, but it's okay. So run enter, click enter. Now do git remote -v. You don't need to retype it. You can just use the up arrow key.
Yeah,
yes.
This one.
So now you have SSH. So do git push. Yes. You have master, not main. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So type yes. Enter your passphrase. Yeah. So your machine's password. Your laptop.
Oh.
Interesting. Is that your, what password are you inputting there?
I'm putting the machine one, but let me try to put the
GitHub one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there you go. Your changes have been synced.
Oh, okay.
So you can we can confirm that. So if you just go to GitHub, open GitHub, then click on refresh this page. Refresh. Yes. So now you see the file greetings.txt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can open it and just check whether it has what you had written there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. So whatever it was in your local machine is now on the remote repository.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so
thank you.
Do we have a question from anyone else? So you can confirm whether the changes you made on the local are present on your remote repository by just refreshing the page. Yes.
Yeah, I also I also need help with the, because I saw that my GitHub has the HTTPs, but now I was trying to retrieve the thing from the GitHub. Yeah, so can you help me from there?
Yeah, just share your screen so that we can know where to help. Do you have anyone else who has issues with GitHub HTTPs? We could create a breakout room so that can have Mike helping me out with some of you. So to just confirm that you, okay, so remote set URL origin. So do git remote -v. Let's see whether it changed.
I haven't done the, I wanted to get the link from the repositories.
Oh, okay. So go to GitHub, There you go. So you see, no, just where you are, because it's this repository. So do you see where it's written code?
Code.
Code. The green, no, the green one.
Oh, yeah. The green one.
Yes, click there. And then click on, SSH, then copy that link.
Copy. Then come in and paste it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now run it. Then do git remote -v. Use the up arrow key to reuse your commands. You don't need to type them again. Yes, enter. So you're good to go now. So push, git push. Enter. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Type YES, yes. Enter. And then enter your passphrase.
Which password?
Yes, the passphrase you gave it.
Okay.
There you go. So you can go to your browser, refresh it, and see whether the changes reflect.
Okay.
So there you are. You can open it. Is that what you wrote?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just be careful when you are getting something from, when you're trying to get the remote repository to the local, ensure you use the SSH key. Avoid using the HTTPS key because it can cause a lot of troubles for you, and solving them could be challenging. Okay, so do we have anyone else who still has concerns on the same? We are all good, right? By show of hands. Okay, perfect. So what we are going to do now, so we have known how to create a remote repository. We have known how to link changes in the local with how to push the changes we've made in the local repository to the remote repository. So we want to do the vice versa. So let's say you have made changes to your remote repository. How do you sync them to the local repository? So for example, let me share my screen. So this is my repo. Where is it? So let's say, for example, I open this file here, and then maybe let me edit it and then add something like, okay, let me open it again. Edit. And then I say, I hope you are enjoying this session. So I've made changes to my file here by adding a sentence. So when you go down, it will ask you now. You see the same way you write a commit message on the local machine. So here you also need to write a commit message so that the changes you've made, someone is able to understand what actually happened. So for example, I could work with what they are giving me here. So I could say, sorry, update greetings.txt, and then I'll say commit changes. So now I have changes that are present in my remote repository, but these changes are not present in my local repository. So how I'm going to get the changes on the remote to be reflected on the local as well, you go to your terminal, and then you remember we were saying git push to push the changes from the local to the remote. So if it's vice versa, instead of git push, you'll say git pull, push and pull. So git pull will pull changes from the remote to the local. So if you run that on your end, it should ask you for your passphrase and then enter. Then it pulls the changes. So you see, it even tells you one file changed, there was one insertion. So if I open my file right now, cat greetings.txt, now I have the sentence I added. I hope you are enjoying the session. So you could practice that for a minute, how to get changes from the remote to the local repository. Was that clear? Someone could just unmute and let me know whether that was clear enough.
Yes, that was clear.
Okay. So just practice that for a minute. And then so practice that for a minute, and then we see whether we are good up to that point.
So the command on the terminal, you said git pull, you write git pull only?
Yes, you just write git pull, and then it will ask for your passphrase, yes. Okay, so that's a minute. So let's see, have you all been able to do that? You can have your hand still raised up if that has been clear. If that is not clear enough, you can just unmute and let me know. Evelyn, is that clear? And the rest of us, Nkosi, Dakura, Kensi, Vanilla, was that clear? So we can proceed, right? We are almost at the end of this session. Okay. So we can proceed. So let's see.
Mine, it's one file change.
Yes.
One is a insertion, but it didn't ask for a password. I just typed it.
Oh, so it picked it automatically. Yeah, that's also
Okay.
That's also okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's do now the second last bit. So let's say in our let me share my whole screen and not the terminal alone. So there is another git command that is called git log and git diff. So git diff will tell you the changes you have made. So if you just run git diff on your end, it shows the changes you've made to your file that have not been pushed to the staging area yet. So because we have already, everything is up to date, you get nothing. But let's say we maybe, do we create another file? No, let's edit our file. Let's add something like, at what time do you want to have a break? then you save it. So if you do Git Diff now, it tells you now that you see this green highlighted text. It shows you that there is one sentence that has been added. Okay. So, and then of course it tells you the number of insertions and the number of deletions and all those stuff. But basically what you get is what has not yet been pushed to the staging area. So now we've seen that we have this sentence that has not been pushed to the local repository. So it means we need to do what? We need to push it to our repository. So again, we reiterate the process. It's a two-step process. So if you've made any changes, what you need to do is to git add first before committing. So we will say git add still greetings.txt because that is what we've changed. Then press enter. And then if we run git diff now, we get nothing because now our changes have been pushed to the staging area. Okay. But now this is not the end. Of course, you remember we have to commit the changes. So we say git commit, then we give it a commit message. So we say modified file. Okay. So now our changes are now have been reflected in the local repository, but we still need these changes to be also reflected in the remote. So now if you're pushing the second time, you don't need to say git push -u origin main. You just need, if you're pushing the second time, third time, fourth, fifth, whatever, so long as you've already pushed the first time and you've said git push -u origin main, the second time you just need to say git push. So if you run that, it pushes the changes that you made in your local repository to your remote. So of course you have to give it your passphrase. And then of course, as you can see, the changes have been pushed to the remote. So if we refresh our remote repository, where is it? We should be able to now see that line sentence added. So it's just the same process. You make a change to a file, maybe you add a folder or you add another file, you have to git add it. If you are removing a file, you say git remove, and then you have to commit it before it's saved in the local repository. Once it's saved in the local repository, ensure you push the changes to the remote repository. Is that clear? So you could explore that.
Yeah, we're done.
You've already explored that.
Yes.
Awesome. You're a good student. Okay, so we can take so we only have one thing left, doing how to where is that? I think I lost it. Let's see. So review, of course, we don't need to do the review because you can go through this, but it's just a recap of what we've done. So we only have one bit left on GitHub Pages. So we can either take a break and then wind up on this, or we can wind it, we can work through it and then we end the session. So what do you prefer? Do we take a break?
Yes, I think a break should be fine.
Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break. We continue at 11:40. Yeah, 11:40 your time. Should be 12:40 my time. So we continue at 11:40. Is that okay? Okay, great. So
Yes,
see you at 11:40 a.m. South Africa. Sorry, I think I've been speaking to myself. Let's confirm that we are back by show of hands. This session should take max of 10 minutes. It's not that long. We're almost done. So let's see. So I still have a few people. Not raise their hands. Are we back? Dakura, Kosi, Kingsley, Zide. Are you back? Are you all in one room? Brendan? Or you're in different places? Zide, does that mean that you are all in one room? Oh, okay. So you're in different places. Okay, good. So can we proceed? Could someone just unmute and let me know that we can proceed?
Yes, we're good to go.
Perfect. Okay, so we've covered the basics of Git, what Git is, what is GitHub, how do you create an empty Git repository, how do you track changes in a local repository, how do you create an SSH key, how do you push changes from the local to the remote, and also how you push changes from the remote to the local machine. So this last session would cover how to publish your website from a Git repository. So we have within GitHub, we have GitHub Pages that enables you to publish your Git repository as a website. So to be able to explore that, so what they're saying here, can you all see my screen on GitHub Pages?
No.
What are you seeing? Oh, okay, I haven't shared, sorry. So, okay, you can see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. So, okay. So what they're saying here is that you can add files and folders to a repository and GitHub Pages would turn it into a website. So the file could be a HTML file, but they also provide JKeal, which renders Markdown into HTML and makes the setup really easy. So we will do a simple example of how to get that. So you're going to go to your GitHub repository. So let's see, let's open our GitHub repo, this one. So if you click on it, you should see code. Yes, so if you click on code, you should see this segment here. Code, issues, pull requests, actions, projects, wikis, security, insights, and settings. So you need to click on settings, and then you find pages. Pages on the left panel, click on pages, and then you'll be asked here, so could you select a source? So you'll select the main branch, and then you can go ahead to choose a theme. So you can choose this one. Let me say select theme. And then here we could type anything. So we could say hello world. I hope you're all familiar with Markdown. So hello world. Something like welcome to my world. Something simple like that, and then you commit changes. Then you have it here. So now if you go back to this repository, on your right hand, it will tell you that now you have GitHub pages being rendered here. So if you click on that, you should see your, oh, it has not been deployed. Okay. Let's see, where did we do, or did we do? We didn't render it in, that's why. Sorry, I think I created another branch. So let's start this again. Okay, it's active now. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get the changes I made. Okay. So let's explore that, and then I'll edit this to reflect something that is making sense. So the basic step is within your repository, click on settings, all right? And then on the left panel, there should be a tag, this that is named pages. So click on pages. And then here you change the branch to main, should be main. And then you can choose a theme. So I won't change my theme, but you can choose a theme, and then you just say publish. So it publishes it automatically. So you should be able to see it reflected on something like this, a website like this. So I can edit this and then see what we get. So you could try that on your end as I try to edit my website. And we can, let's see.
I'm a bit lost. From the code, where do we go to?
Sorry?
From the code, when you come to your repository, and
Okay.
code.
Okay,
What is
let's work with this. Let me not share my screen. Okay, so let's start from this point. So you have your repository, right? Or let's do this. Could you share your screen so that it's easier to explain from your screen? Yeah.
so from this code?
No. So you don't click on code. You click on settings.
Oh.
Settings, yes. On the left side, pages, yes. And then yeah, choose the branch. So where it's written none, can you see that? Yes. Click on main. Yes, and then choose a theme. You could select any theme there. Select, yes. So it automatically opens a markdown document for you. Do you see that? So if you don't change this text that is within this markdown document, what will be reflected in your website would be this. Okay. So you could change that with something else, or you could leave it as it is, and then you just commit. So once you commit, it publishes it, and then it will tell you now. You could just commit it as it is. We can change the markdown later on. Yeah, so give it a minute so that it's able to publish that. Then go back to code, click on code. On the left side, yeah. No. Yes, there. So you see here where we have environments. On the right side.
Yes.
Yes, there. So this is where once it's able to publish it, it will tell you that it has been deployed. So if you click on the link that is provided there, it should open that website. So give it a minute or so. Let's see whether it's able to deploy it.
It's showing an error there.
Yes, let's give it a minute or so. I think mine also had that similar issue, but it was able to publish it. Let's just wait a minute. See. So the rest of us, you could be trying that as well on your end. As we wait for, so try to refresh this page. Yes, it's now active. So click on their GitHub, no, GitHub pages. Yes, there. Click on view deployment.
View deployment, okay.
So there you have it. Yes. So because you didn't change the markdown, whatever was there is what is reflected here. So you can edit the markdown to reflect what you want reflected on your website.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone else who's still lost at that? Let's see. Quasi, are we good? Brendan, Crystal, Ronella?
Yes, I'm good.
Perfect. Have you guys been able to
I'm good as well.
deploy your website?
Yes, all good.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
good.
how you get a website from GitHub. Actually, the one I presume you saw the website we used for advertising this workshop. You saw that? Let me see whether I can share it here. Just to look here. Did you guys see this website?
Yes.
Are you able to see my screen? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This was generated using GitHub. See how cool it can be? Yeah, so this was done using GitHub, just the same way we've done, only that you have to edit now the markdown and you have to get a different theme and things of this sort.
No, I see.
Yes. Okay, let's see whether we have a question. No, people are good. So maybe the last thing I could take you through on GitHub is on collaboration. I think I mentioned that as another the other benefit of GitHub. So within GitHub, you can either collaborate or contribute. So collaboration is where everyone you add as a collaborator is able to make changes directly to your work without requesting for your permission. So they can easily open your repository and then make changes, and that's it. So those are collaborators. But then we have contributors. Contributors do not have the rights to actually edit your work. So they have to request for your permission. So if you are a contributor, what you do is, if you want to maybe contribute to this repository that I have created, you go to your GitHub account, you open this repository. So the way it is, Nanjala Ruth, NITheCS Carpentries training, and then you click on fork. So you fork that repository. And then once you fork it, you're able to make changes to the repository. And then once you've made changes, you send a pull request to the owner of the repository, so that if they see that the changes you've made are making sense to them and they are able to accept them, they will merge the changes. If not, they would reject them. So that is a contributor. But a collaborator can edit it without getting permission from the repository, from the owner of the repository, sorry. So if you want to add collaborators to GitHub, which I think has been explained with the software carpentry, lesson. So if you check on version control with Git, day 2, and then move to collaborating, you'll see all the steps here or that you can use to add someone as a collaborator. But just to show you the basics, how you do that is you go on settings, click on settings of that repository where you want to add collaborators. And then here on the left-hand side, you see this icon of collaborators. So you click on it, and then you can now add people. So for example, let me add, was it Brendan? Give me your GitHub name. Maybe put it in the chat. 2 of you could do that. Give me your GitHub names. Nkosi,
just the
Brendan.
names, right?
Yes, just the names.
All right.
Just type Andrean Cloud.
I sent mine in the chat.
Okay. Andrian.
Okay. Okay. Capital letter A at first. Yeah. Capital letter A.
And then?
NDRIAA.
This one.
Cloud.
Oh, this one.
Cloud. It should be cloud. N. Put N. Hyphen. Cloud.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that's one.
And then I'll add you. Then I can add someone else. Yeah. Wondering. So let's say, let me add one. 102. This is it, right?
Yes, that is it.
Yeah. So you should be able to get emails requesting you to accept the invite. So once you accept the invite, you become collaborators. So you can accept that invite and then come and edit my file and add something to it so that we can show others how collaboration works. So you can come and edit this file on the remote, and then I'll refresh the page once you've done that. So accept it, and then while they're doing that, the rest of us, you can try to add a few of your colleagues. So just go on settings and then add a few of your colleagues as collaborators, and then let them make edits to your repository. So you could do that exercise for 10 minutes and then see whether people have understood the concept of collaboration. Then once they've done that, we can move to contribution, and then we wrap up the class. So let's do that in the next 10 minutes. I am waiting for my collaborators to accept the invite and to contribute. Let's see. Nice. Brendan has already. So can you all see this? So now, right now it even tells me that 2 contributors have made contributions to this. So he's been able to make changes without requesting for my permission. So those are the kind of permissions that collaborators have, which is very dangerous. So don't just have everyone as a collaborator if you want your work to go through a certain criteria before anyone approves or before you take changes from anyone. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Let's wait for the other collaborator to add. So Andrea, we are waiting for you to make changes.
Okay.
So now if you look,
I just said commit. Okay.
Oh, you did that.
Okay. Let me commit again because there was a spelling error.
Okay.
Commit changes. Okay, my network is a bit slow.
It's okay. Let's just do it.
But you can check on your site.
Yeah, I'm just refreshing it. If it whatever, it still hasn't reflected. So on it again.
Let me refresh on my side.
Okay. So something else, if you now check the right-hand side of your repository, you should be able to now see your collaborators. So you see now I have me, and then I have Brendan. So everyone who has contributed to your repository will be displayed in this column here, page, section, not even page, section. So let's see, the rest of you, I hope you're practicing that, adding people as collaborators. Brendan as well, you could add someone else as a collaborator to your repo and see whether you grasp that. So we have 6 minutes left to do that exercise.
Oh, my network is bad.
It's okay. So if any of you is facing a challenge of adding someone as a collaborator, just unmute yourself and speak up so that we can assist you. Can add making other changes. Yeah, sure. Sure, you can do that. Good. My GitHub is Nanjala Ruth.
Okay, you can refresh on your site.
Okay, perfect. Just a minute. So Jared sent me an invite. I'm going to accept it. So you see you have an option of accepting or declining. So I have accepted it. Let's collaborate. Let me refresh this first. Perfect. Andrian, it's here. Nkosi. It's Nkosi, right?
Yes.
The changes have been reflected. Perfect. So you can try now to add someone as a collaborator on your end and then see how that works. So let me collaborate Jade. Okay, Jade, so you can check your repository now. We have made some changes there. See whether you can see them. Now see the contributors, you and me. You have a GitHub page. Let's see how it looks like. View deployments. Jade, looks like your GitHub page has a few issues. You need to deploy it again. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left for that exercise. Are we all good up to that point? Let's see by show of hands. Have you added someone as a collaborator? Let me stop sharing. One of you could share their screen. Let's see. Valon, do you mind sharing your screen? I hope that's the pronunciation. You could share your screen and see whether you've been able to. Valon, are you going to share? Or anyone else? Okay, let's see. Who's willing to share their screen? No one. Interesting.
Okay, let me share.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Let me go this site.
Sorry. I'll stop sharing. Okay.
Oh, share. No problem. If you're sharing, no problem.
Okay. Who did you add as your collaborator?
This person added me as a collaborator.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, commit the changes then. Perfect. So now you have 2 contributors to that repository. See how easy it is. Yeah. So let's now explore contributing and not collaborating. So if you are contributing to my repository, you need to fork my repository. Okay, so I'm going to share this repository of mine here, and I want every one of you to fork it, make changes, send a pull request, and then I'll merge them. So I'll show you. I'll show you how to do that. So let me get a repository, someone's repository. So just share your repository on the chat. Anyone, just share your repository on the chat so that I can show you how to contribute, and then we can all explore that. Any volunteer?
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to copy it. Jesus Christ. Control C. I'm having a problem with my copy.
Oh, okay. What is your GitHub name?
It's A.
Mm-hmm.
Capital letter, sorry, capital letter A. Capital letter N.
Mm-hmm.
D. R. I. A. Yeah, there it is.
AI.
Yeah, the Andrean Cloud.
Oh, Andrean. Okay, let's see. Let me go to your GitHub and then get. Okay. Okay, why am I not getting it? Okay, Andrean. I think I typed your name wrong. Is it?
You typed right.
It's right, right? Why is it not?
Oh, yeah, it's right.
Okay, what's your real name?
Weta GC.
GC.
WETHA.
WETHA.
Yes. It doesn't find.
Not getting it. Okay, let's use Brendan's one.
Okay.
Let's use his. Okay, so I hope I'm not a collaborator in this repo, Brendan. Okay, yeah, I'm not a collaborator.
No, you're not.
So how you contribute is, so if we have this repository from Brendan, so I click on fork, okay, then I'm going to fork it to my repository. And then it will give me, so you see, I have this copy of the same repository, but it's from, so it tells you that forked from Brendan, and the name of his repository. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some changes. So maybe by adding a README, then commit new file. Okay, so this only reflects on my repository. So for Brendan to be able to see the changes I have made so that he can accept the changes, once I have committed the changes, I click on pull request. Okay, and then I say new pull request. and then I'll say create pull request. Then you could type anything here, then say create. Okay, so I've created a pull request. So when Brendan opens his repository, he should see this pull request on his end. All right, so Brendan, you can share your screen so that you can see that from your end. And then I let you know how to merge the changes. Then we can do that exercise for the next 10 minutes. So refresh your page. Oh yeah, it's there. So click on pull request. So yeah, you click on create readme. Here, no, not there. Oh yeah, on the create readme itself. Yes, there. And then go down and then say merge pull request. So if you see that the changes make sense, you just merge them. So click on merge and then confirm merge. And that's it. So if you check your repository now, you should be able to see the changes I made. And I'm a contributor. Yeah, you've seen it. Perfect. So yeah, let's do that exercise. So we could use Brendan's repository as, how do we say? So everyone could you fork Brendan's repository, make changes to it, and then send a pull request so that we can all see that from his end. We can easily track that. So open Brendan's repository, the one he's shared here. Fork it. So we could have one of you share their screen so that I can see whether you're able to do that. So Nkosi, are you able to do that?
Yeah, let me share my screen. Let me just share it. Okay, just a bit.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yes,
Screen?
perfect. Can see it. Okay, fork it.
Okay, let me go. Okay, fork.
Yes, so fork it to Andrian Cloud.
Yes.
Yeah, so make any changes. So you can edit the greetings.txt file. You can do anything you want to. So you see the pencil at the end there. Yeah, edit that. And then commit the changes. What are you saying?
No, I'm saying let me go down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go down and commit the changes.
It's misbehaving. It.
So if you just scroll down.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, yeah, commit changes.
Commit changes.
Yeah. So now the changes are on your repository, but you want them reflected on Brendan's repository. So you go on pull request.
Pull request.
And then new pull request. Yes.
Okay, new pull request.
Yes. And create pull request. then create again, click on create pull request. And that's it. So now you see you are on Brendan's repository and the pull request has been created. So it's up to him to decide whether the changes you made sound good to him, and then he can merge the changes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's practice that for the next 10 minutes. Then we come back at 12:31 to wrap up this session. So Nkosi, you could try to fork another repo and see whether you've been able to get the procedure.
Okay, fork who? Okay, let me see.
Any other person's repo.
Okay. Let me, maybe I should ask someone to give me.
Yeah. Okay, I could share mine. Let me see. But did I add you? I think I added you as a collaborator, so you can't be a contributor. Okay, so you need to, someone else could share their GitHub repository link, then you can fork it. Jade, maybe you could share your repository. Yeah. So we have different people with their repositories shared on the chat.
Okay, let me just go to them. Okay, Tsepo. Let me click on Tsepo.
Yeah. So this exercise is for everyone, not just for Nkosi alone. So all of you explore
Come to
being a
fork.
contributor.
Cloud. Oh, I think I made a mistake.
No, you're just okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No, I made a mistake. I
you
was
skipped
supposed to
something.
write. Let me go back. Go back a bit again. Yeah, I was supposed to click on the file.
Yes.
And
Did you
then,
fork it?
yeah.
Okay.
Then this one. Then pull requests.
Yeah.
New. create a, then create. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So can we have Sepo sharing sharing the screen so that we can see how she merges the changes? That's perfect, Nkosi. You're good to go. Yes.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Sepo, could you share your screen so that we see how you merge the changes? Yeah, so you already, oh, okay. Yeah, so go on pull request. And then, yeah, click on update greetings. Click on update greetings, yeah, there. And then go down, then you say merge pull request. Confirm merge. Perfect, so it's been merged. So you can check your repo and see whether you can see the changes. Can you see them? Yes. Okay, perfect. Well, I guess that's it for this session, unless you have questions. I can take questions at this point. Do you have questions?
Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Yeah. Sorry for letting you know. I was disrupted because of the venue. I have to move from one venue to another. That's why I could not follow you. But I will follow what you've done because there is a record.
Yeah, sure.
That's
No
why you see
problem.
me. I'm not reacting.
It's okay. No problem. Okay, perfect. So that's about so just that's just the basics of Git and GitHub. There is a lot more, but with the basics, you're good to go. And as you progress with using it, you will be able to encounter the other Git commands, and of course, we'll figure it out. But that's the basics that you need to know up to this point. So unless we have questions, Nkosi, did you want to say something?
I would like to say thank you. Thank you very much for being our wonderful facilitator and giving us the real life mini projects that we should play around this version control. Yeah, I think now we can get some collaborators here, maybe do some codings of what sort. Thank you. We really appreciate what you have given to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anyone else who has a question or comment before I